Make the ground shake.
Hello YouTube, today I'm bringing you a pretty interesting video, and this is like the Bleach discussion video. I know it's been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks since I've done one, but I'm here with One Piece Nation, and we are going to be talking about Bleach versus One Piece. And yes, I know One Piece is overall basically better than Bleach, but I still want to just like compare them, okay? So why don't you introduce yourself, One Piece?
Hi, I am One Piece Nation. I make One Piece content.
Well, that's obvious, but yeah, he does.
It's
I'll have a
obvious. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell that was obvious.
True, but I'll have his link in the description below. He does more than One Piece. He talks about Dragon Ball. He's done some Bleach videos when Bleach was ending. He reviewed the last 5 chapters. And he's also done some videos with me on Mark or Real to Real Pros channel. And yeah, so we're gonna get into this video. And first of all, we want to talk about the startings of the series and which we think's better. And I'm gonna go first. So honestly, I think Bleach started off better because, like, the first chapter, the first episode, we just get to see Ichigo be a straight up savage when he kicked that guy in the face and the bottle of that girl and stuff. We just kind of got a feel more of Ichigo than we did of Luffy, and that's just my opinion. And I just feel like that we got a better arc, like after the like maybe first season. I believe the second season was the Soul Society. So right after the first season, we got probably the best arc of Bleach. I'm pretty sure almost everybody will agree with that. It's not my favorite, but it's arguably or most likely the best arc that Bleach has to offer for us compared to One Piece's many arcs that are great. But honestly, think out of all the big three, just actually the big three, that Bleach has the best arc. But between these two series, although I did say out of the big three, but One Piece is part of the big three. So I'm just saying that I think Bleach had a better start just because of the way things were and just the way it kind of kicked off. And it just felt like that it was really like we were gonna get into the series.
Okay, so my argument to that is two things. Before I actually give my argument, I need to explain something, which is that the opening in the anime is actually done incorrectly. In the manga, we start off with the Luffy and Shanks flashback.
Yeah.
So, and then we get Luffy waking up Alvida's ship in chapter 2. So there isn't really much I can argue. So I would say we actually got a better feel of Luffy's character than we did of Ichigo's. Only because when you look at Ichigo, that what we got there was kind of what we got there was kind of him prior to getting his power. It was like a more like a different version of Ichigo, I guess you could say.
But I'm talking about the first season. In the first season, we got we Ichigo getting Rukia's powers and only to lose it episodes later and have to get his own powers back just to go and save Rukia. I mean, we basically get Ichigo's personality in the first season. I mean, we get like the whole package of Ichigo because
That
Ichigo
is
doesn't
true.
change much
Yeah.
after the first.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he doesn't change much throughout the series.
At
But
all.
yeah, really, I mean, and that's one of the flaws that Bleach has. But for the beginning,
That
that
the
we
main character, like the least developed character in the whole series.
yeah, but for the beginning is actually probably when we get the most development. So for a beginning, I would probably say since the character has a lot of development
Yeah.
and we get to see more of the character, because in the first season of One Piece, we get to see of Luffy is him beating up a bunch of guys and recruiting crew members. We don't get to see too much of Luffy developing as a character till later down the road as a in the series. But with Ichigo, we get to see, that his mom died when he was
Yeah.
young,
I know, I see your
and
point.
and him losing his powers and wanting to repay Rukia back. so he gains his powers back only to go into the Soul Society when really he could have just stayed there
Yeah.
in the world of the living and done nothing. So I mean, we just get so much development for Ichigo in the first season rather than Luffy who gets it later down the road. So I mean, you see where I'm coming from?
I think you're coming from. I'll give you that. One Piece, and in the first arc of One Piece is very slow, especially when you consider the first episode. Well, the first chapter is actually pretty boring. It's a good chapter, so don't come at me for that. I'm not passing the chapter, but for a pilot, it's not very good. My opinion, of course.
Yeah. So moving on to the next topic, though, let's talk about the way the manga is drawn. Now, Bleach, its manga, when it was drawn, it went from very good to probably, I would say, after the defeat of Aizen, maybe after the full bring. I don't really remember that well, but the art quality of the manga started to drop, if you notice, because if you look at the early chapters of Bleach, there were backgrounds, there were a lot of detail, and there still were a lot of details in the characters till the end, but there was a lot of detail in the background in the beginning, and it just kind of fell away from that later down the road in the series. With One Piece, the character development, or not the character development, the character design, maybe not as good as Bleach, but the backgrounds and just everything overall has always pretty much, stayed the same or actually gotten better. Instead of Bleach, where it was really good in the beginning and then it just later declined.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this?
I'll agree with that, but I also wanted to say that I would say that Bleach and One Piece I think are equally good in pretty much every aspect. The difference is, well, besides for backgrounds, of course.
Yeah.
No, but the point though is that the thing about One Piece is that Bleach has a very realistic art style, and the Bleach is a pretty realistic series.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
that's
there is nothing. One Piece has a talking reindeer as one of the main characters. A talking skeleton that likes to fart and ask women if he can see their panties. And
but
those are the main characters.
but
I mean,
Bleach has a talking
This is not a but that's it's still not a main character. Like
still
this is
Bleach
not
has
a theory that is meant to be taken itself incredibly as seriously as Bleach. So the character designs aren't realistic. So
true.
you can't really gauge the character design that way. But I will agree that One Piece has had more consistency in the quality of the art.
Yeah, but
You can definitely
one
you
thing
can even tell like I remember the chapter with the bonding rite. Remember what it called the war welt, whatever the palace, the original palace was called that you all had.
yeah.
Like it was like tons of no background battle. And it was just this giant portrait, this beautiful portrait of Yuhan's base, and I was like, "This is beautiful. Why can't everything in the background look like this?"
So we actually do agree on this topic. But I wanted to say one thing though. Bleach does have a talking stuffed animal though. You're calling
That
that
is very
realistic?
true.
But
I'm not
I'm
saying
not
that's
even gonna get.
realistic, but I meant the way things are handled. Like there's an explanation for that.
Yeah,
Like
true.
it's explanation. A, it's like the concepts in One Piece are executed and used in a more like crazy ways. It's like a talking skeleton that likes to frickin' fart and ask women if he can see their panties.
Yeah.
What's weirder, that or a talking teddy bear?
The skeleton.
Yeah.
But moving on to a different topic. Now, after this is pretty much where One Piece is going to win mostly all of them, and we're gonna be talking about the story, okay? Like I said, the beginning of both stories, I'd say that Bleach would win, but after the Aizen fight, that's when Bleach started to decline, and One Piece, it's stayed up there. I mean, it's not the number one manga in the world for no reason. So we know the story is actually really good, and honestly, for me, the story didn't actually really start to get hype until the in his lobby. My mind went blank for a minute.
That is what most people consider. It's that and Marineford are like
Yeah,
the
Enies
two.
Lobby.
The Alabasta, Ennis Lobby, and Marineford are typically said to be like people argue about it, but one of those is going to be your number one.
Yeah, but like I was saying though, it didn't really start to kick in for me until Enies Lobby. But the one thing about One Piece is after Enies Lobby, the arcs are pretty much really good in my opinion.
It's a
And
thriller bark.
I actually really did like Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark was a really good arc for me. But one thing as I was saying though, Bleach, like the character development as well and part of the story, Ichigo, we just see a copy paste really from him. If we're being truthful, because like I said, Ichigo didn't really change that much
Oh my
because
god, I
well,
just pressed.
it
Pep
was just
talk.
it was just after after he regains his powers, he loses them later, regains them, loses them, and it's just kind of copy after that. Or, for example, one arc he went to go save Rukia, then the next arc he went to go save Orihime, and then after that he loses his powers, and the next arc he goes to regain his powers, and then he fights Yuwatch and all the Quincy's to save the world. So it's
You
really
mean
it's
like Yuha and like five Quincy's that
well,
are
I
all
mean there were
like
other.
background characters. He fights like no one in that final arc.
Well, see, that's true. That's one thing though that One Piece wins at is because after Enies Lobby, we get to see Luffy actually develop, and that's when it kicks in to a bunch of good arcs. And the arcs are different. We get to see development in Luffy. We get to see him become a better captain after the time skip with Ichigo. It was different. Ichigo was a wimp. He was on the ground crying. I mean, it's like we get to see development in Luffy after time skip. Time skip with Ichigo, we get to see him become a crybaby and then get his powers back and then become a complete savage. But if he lost his powers again, he would probably be doing the same thing. See,
Yeah,
we
there's
don't.
no development there.
Yeah, there's no
It's
development.
like it kind of like the lesson learned is that his powers define him. And
Yes.
without them, he's just going to go in a corner and cry.
Yeah,
There
because
isn't nothing changes.
Luffy,
It's
if
not like he
Luffy
learned any big major lesson. Like, you know what? No, I don't need my powers. I can help my friends in other ways. I don't need my powers to help and protect people.
Yeah, so I think that's what me and you agree on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You want to say anything else
I
about
just
this?
actually want to say my point. My point is that one thing I feel also needs to be considered is that One Piece, when it comes to other elements of storytelling, as in like foreshadowing,
Hmm.
is just better and
Yeah.
following through on it and actually living up to what you hyped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to tell me, like, I'll tell, like, Jinbei was referenced in Arlong Park for the first time.
Yeah, he was. I actually do remember
He,
that.
he was introduced about 500 chapters later.
Well, there are some foreshadowing in
No, but
Bleach, and
okay, I know I'm about to get to that. You could use the example of Squad Zero, introduced hundreds of chapters before introducing, right?
there's actually
But then
another.
you went to Jinbei, which the Jinbei, when introduced, Jinbei became a really interesting character that was utilized correctly. The Zero Squad, what, were one shotted off screen.
Yeah, one shotted
It's
by you
like
watch his
it's
minions.
an
Actually,
interesting, good character who lived up to what the expectations that were set up for him
yeah.
in Jinbei, and you have the characters that were foreshadowed almost just as early, like with the tremendous gap, but still no.
I don't know if you noticed this though, One Piece. Now, I'm not gonna get into all the Bleach foreshadowing, but in Bleach, in the Soul Society arc, there was an interesting thing that Ukatake said about Ichigo, and it was in the anime. I remember it the most. He said something on the lines of, "Wait, this can't be," or something, and he said he couldn't be or related to somebody or something like that. And what he was thinking
Like,
was he was thinking of Ishin. He was thinking
yeah,
of his
but
father.
I do not count stuff like parents for like talking who a character parents are foreshadowing because that is normally something the author had set up from day one. That's not that impressive.
Yeah.
Look at
Still
Naruto.
foreshadowing.
You look at a picture, your picture to the fourth Hokage, the fourth
Yeah, no, I mean
Naruto
that's
dead.
obvious,
Like
but
years. It's like no, that was planned. Like Dragon was clearly planned to be Luffy. Dragon was in opening one. Like he would plan to be Luffy fodder. Ishin was planned to be a Soul Reaper. That like, there's nothing impressive about that.
still, it was foreshadowed. I just wanted
Any
to mention that.
any smart author can do that.
True, but let's move on topics because I didn't want to get too much into the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So the second topic is the middle part of the series. Now, I guess you could call the Soul Society the beginning part of the series. I know I've already went over the Soul
Bleach,
Society.
does
So,
Bleach even have a? Does Bleach really have a concrete middle?
yes, it does. The Arrancar arc. So, the Arrancar arc,
That's not the I divided it.
it's part of it. I count it as that. Like, we'll start to after the Soul Society arc
I normally
to the
assume a
defeat of
middle
Aizen.
group of time skip happens, but that doesn't really work with Bleach.
With Bleach, I'd say towards the ending would actually be the time skip. But let's get into the middle part, which is really just the fights after the Soul Society to the defeat of Aizen is the middle, or what I'm counting as the middle. So honestly, this is my favorite part of the series, but to a lot of people is their second favorite part, and they start to see some flaws in Bleach, but not as much as we see later down the road, such as the Fullbring arc and the Thousand Year Blood War arc, which I do think the Thousand Year Blood War arc was mostly good until the ending, but we're talking about the middle. So I really do like this because we get several characters that are introduced that are really powerful, such as Ukiora, Espada number 4, which is
Kiara.
also known as Grimmjow, and Neliel, and so many other Arancars, and Espada.
That we do not have time to list them all.
Yeah, we don't have time to list all of these Iran cars and Espada, but we get so many of these characters. Plus, we get to see Aizen after that cliffhanger at the end of the Soul Society, and we get to see Geen, and it was just greatness. Okay, it was greatness. That's just me. I'm fanboying right here because it was my favorite arc. But compared to the Soul Society, it was almost. I'm not gonna say it was a copy paste of the Soul Society, but the plot of it, which was to save Orihime and then defeat Aizen, it kind of was a little bit copied from the Soul Society arc, which was save Rukia and get out of there and bring her back to the world of living. So it kind of was, but it wasn't too much because we did get new characters and we did get,
The Captain 2.0.
yeah. So I really did enjoy this arc, but I felt like that it probably, if you're looking at it from a, I guess you could say a critical point of view or a reviewing point of view, it's not as good as the Soul Society arc, but I really did enjoy it, and I just feel like it's declined a little bit. So what do you think about this One Piece?
Like, I really think One Piece had a better middle, solely because what is pretty much recognized as the middle arc of One Piece is the Marine Ford, is the Summit War Saga, which is Amazon Lily, Marine Ford,
Impel Down,
Intel
Marine.
Down, Marine Ford, and the post-war flashback arc.
Yeah, which was really good.
Yeah, which are all really good, and Marine Ford is by many considered to be the best arc in the entire series. And it really the arc, the difference between One Piece and Bleach is we really got the Bleach's equivalent to Marine Ford as like the second arc in the series.
Yeah.
But the Marine Ford is the same thing as the Soul Society arc for Bleach, where we get introduced to all the big, not all the big players, but we really get to see what the big players are capable of for the truly big guys like Whitebeard, the Admiral, are really capable of for the first time.
So I kind of agree with you.
And
So
it's also different here that this is actually confirmed to be the middle. Because right directly when that saga ended and we entered the time skip, Oda said we were halfway through the story. So that helps saying is the definitive middle.
yeah, so we can kind of agree that One Piece gets the point here. Now we're talking about the ending, or not really the ending for Bleach, which is the last part, and then One Piece
I
all
guess
the way up to its current. So we kind of already know before we even talk about this who the winner's gonna be, which I'm just gonna say it's One Piece. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk
I
about.
think we can both say without even knowing the ending. The ending of One Piece will probably be better.
Well, duh. I mean, unless it gets rushed, but I don't think that'll happen. And if it does, oh my gosh, Japan
If it
is gonna
does,
riot.
no, do the different. Bleach did not have that kind of. They can't rush this theory.
Yeah, they can't.
I don't think they. I don't think they. I think they would come and end up dying.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be bad if they do that, do what they did to Bleach.
Yeah.
But getting into this actually, final topic we're talking about, I want to say that Bleach, although the Full Ring arc was bad, the beginning of the Thousand Year Blood War arc, and almost up until the end, it was
I
pretty
would
good.
say. I think the part you were talking about when we started noticing something with the Bankai.
Yeah, when we get
Like
the
when we
Bankai,
started getting like all the Bankai, even I started getting a little bit like, okay.
I
Like
mean, Kisuke's Bankai, Kenpachi's Bankai. Who else am I forgetting? Oh yeah, I'm almost forgetting. But I'm not. That God Thunder of Yoruichi, which was not a Bankai, but that was still pretty cool.
and then there was Kokuro's Bankai.
Yeah,
It got to the point where I started, and then, but I would say the real point where we Bleach went down in case you want an actual point is Gerard. When Gerard was defeated by the Holy
yeah,
Faction, that was it.
yeah. That
And
was
that
it.
minute I knew.
I didn't know then, but like when I saw it was getting rushed, I was like, oh crap,
I
because
knew this was gonna be. I
the
knew that.
Ichigo Bankai was a letdown.
Yeah.
But the rest of the arc, I mean, it was pretty good. It did have its problems, but it still was pretty good, especially with the stuff with You Watch versus Old Man Yamamoto. That was
I
a,
just
a
happy
really
the
good
series was
fight.
called Bleach and not Ichigo. I mean, if this series was named after Ichigo, it would have serious problems.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention, I know it has nothing to do with the video. I'm pretty sure the Bleach, the reason why it got its name is Bleach, the cleansing of souls. That's not the full name of Bleach, but I was saying that's what it's meaning by Bleach, because Bleach cleansed stuff.
Yeah,
But
Bleach.
I just wanted to mention that.
Well, but yeah.
But with One
It was
Piece,
actually originally supposed to be called Black.
yeah. Actually, it was originally going to be called Sniper. But going on to One Piece with, Fishman Island, which I heard a lot of people didn't like it. I
Yeah,
personally enjoyed Fishman Island.
I can see why. I mean, let's just say if you've been waiting for that arc since Enies Lobby, like in reading it on a week to week basis, I understand why you hated it.
Well, I can understand that too, but
Like that much, like you wait for years, and it's just the main character winning every fight easily.
but it was after the time skip,
No,
and
but
we
I mean,
didn't
it
see
kind of
its
like we
highlights.
waited like 10 years
True.
for this.
But moving on to Fishman Island, we get Punk Hazard, which that's where I'm at in One Piece. I need to catch up.
And you are currently in the Pirate Alliance saga.
Yeah, but it's a pretty good arc. I really enjoy it. And I know I've seen Dressrosa stuff, and I know Dressrosa was really good. I know Zoe was really good, and I know the stuff with Sanji is like exploding right now all over the One Piece community and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I mean, or just really the anime
yeah,
community of
yeah,
YouTube. It's
yeah,
like booming everywhere.
yeah.
So I
I mean,
mean,
I'll be honest. I think, and I haven't like I'll do a bit. You'll probably do subscribe to me, and you'll be seeing a video on this eventually. But I do think some of the current stuff in One Piece is some of the best content we've gotten ever. Like the stuff with Sanji, it's up there. Like this current arc, maybe in the last one though, maybe like replacing like Alabaster or like any Lobby in my top 10 favorite arcs. Like they're really, really good arcs.
yeah, I've heard that's pretty good. But wrapping up this video, we can just say that One Piece gets the win on the
Yeah.
middle,
But I think I
towards
hesitated.
the end, but Bleach gets it on the beginning, and it's kind of a tie, I would say, for the
I think,
manga.
yeah, I feel like that would need to be said. Honestly, just because I know the anime community, we both do. One Piece is critically. I think we can both agree better.
Yeah, it's
Like
critically
if
better than
you were
Bleach.
given $1,000 and you were said you will get $1,000, you give a completely unbiased opinion. What is better? I think we can both agree. We can unanimously say One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece.
Yeah,
But
but that does not mean you can't like Bleach more.
yes, I personally like Bleach more, but I will admit that One Piece is critically better. But for me, Bleach just gives me more nostalgia. I enjoy the fights more. I'm
Yeah,
not saying One Piece is
personal
bad. One
preference.
Piece is great, but it's my
It's per
preference.
yeah, the personal. It's in your opinion.
It's my opinion,
You're
yes.
you're allowed to have those.
Yeah. But I think we get the point of this video across. Unless One Piece wants to say anything else, feel free to, man.
The factor is that I actually do really like Bleach. I'll be honest, I saw Bleach through to completion before I saw One Piece through to completion.
Well,
And I love, and it's a series I really do like, and I reviewed it, and I'm very mad about the ending. So please don't come at me and tell me I'm some biased fuckhead or something.
he's not, and hopefully we can get that Bleach anime greatness back, and they can fix that ending up because, they can do stuff like that. They don't have to be true to the manga's ending. I just wanted to say that. I've said that several times,
Yeah,
and if you've lasted through this video this long, then thank you. But that's all we have for this one, guys. One Piece, you want to say anything else?
no.
All right, guys. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this discussion video, and subscribe to One Piece's channel. Like I said, he does some pretty cool content. Obviously One Piece, but he also does Naruto, some Dragon Ball, and he also does, or did, not does, Bleach when it ended. So yeah, guys, have a nice day. I'm out. Or we are out, actually.